Welcome, everybody, to another episode of PodCats. My name is Stephen Stockwell. I'll be your host today. Joining me today is softball Coach Rod Radcliffe. How are you today, Coach?
Good, doing good. Nice to have some nice weather.
Yeah, finally. Hopefully March is a lot better than it was in February.
Yeah.
All right, Coach, we'll jump right into it. It's your first year here at Culver, coming from Rutgers this summer. What are some things that you were able to bring from Rutgers and some of the things that you might not have been able to bring over that you originally had hoped you could have?
Okay, yeah. Really pretty much definitely teach the game of softball is what I'm trying to do, and with the athletes and things like that. Want to create a culture where they have a love of the game and keep it that way. It's a game. It should be fun. That's why they're here. They came here to play softball plus their education, of course, but if they love the game that much, they should enjoy it as they're going. So definitely we're trying to bring in a culture that's competitive, trying to get them to, I know I'm teaching them a lot of new things from what they've done in the past, and which is all good. It's been good. They've been very receptive and very eager to learn.
That's good to hear. All right. With all the rainouts or snowouts, we can go with either one. So far this year, you now open your season with a conference opponent in Grandview. Starting off the season with a conference game's got to be more difficult. I know in baseball, like we like to play a couple games before conference just to be able to knock off the rust. What are some things that you're going to have to do differently since it's a conference game that you probably wouldn't have had to do if it was a non-conference game to start?
Well, pretty much we approach it that we got ready to just take care of ourselves anyway. So with our team, I mean, we got to just keep growing as we go. And, definitely with the competition. Yeah, it's a conference game, but it's still a game. So with that in mind, we just got to take everything that's positive out of everything that we've done. To me, it's not much of a different approach than any other game. We definitely go to win every game. So yes, conference is important because of the standings and everything like that. Plus, you got all the different rivalries and things like that a little bit more because they play each other so much, which is a lot of fun. But for me, no one knows me in the conference. I don't know them in the conference. So really the approach I've always taken since I've coached is we just take it each game, and your opponents really don't matter. It's a matter of how we play to our opponents.
So like you just said, you're new to the conference. Just like in basically every sport, the Heart of America Conference is extremely tough. Being a new coach here in the conference, what are some of the advantages and then challenges that you're going to have this year, not really knowing the other teams that you're going to have to overcome?
Yeah, right. Well, first of all, that was one of the biggest things of applying here was because of the conference, because you know that you're going to have a good competition all the time, and that's a lot of fun. I like it when you go to play games. If you don't play good, you get beat. If you play good, you've earned it and deserve to win the game. So that's always a big plus, I think. But disadvantage to advantage, the coaches really don't know me very much. I definitely don't know them. So I don't know their style. I don't know if it's a team that really likes to bunt more or do they hit and run more, whatever. What's their strength? Those are things that when you've been in the, into the conference a little bit, you get to know those type of things. But other than that, it's still softball. It doesn't take long to adjust as you go into it, and every game you adjust anyway, even when you do know their strengths. So that's probably the biggest thing. The other coaches will know our athletes, but I won't know their athletes at all going into it. So sometimes not knowing things is better.
That is true. Sometimes not having any scar tissue or anything like that.
Yeah.
Better than knowing some things. So like you just said, a lot of the coaches are going to know your players. You have a pretty experienced team returning 6 of 9 starters from last year's lineup, including a couple all-conference players and senior catcher Taryn Brown and junior third baseman Allie Thompson. Having all that experience, that had to help with your transition in, as well as give you some confidence going into the season, right?
Yeah, definitely. Experience, you can't beat experience. That goes a long ways. because that builds confidence usually on an athlete. So, that comfort zone is always a good thing, but it's kind of fun to have that new freshness and the new faces that are coming into it too, because that makes it, really energetic again. But yeah, it's definitely good to have girls that have competed in the past on the conference and things like that. So, I think with a little older team that we have this year, uh, they made they made adjustments probably a lot faster than if you had a really young team. Because we did change culture and we did change style of play a little bit, all those things. So yeah, it's always a good thing to have veterans back and things like that.
So not only in the field are you experienced, you're also really experienced on the mound or the circle in your case.
Yep.
You turned 3 of your top 4 pitchers from last year innings wise. Not a lot of teams in baseball or softball get a lot of return like that pitching because a lot of them are senior led. How nice is that to have on the mound where you could focus more on the hitting because you kind of know who your guys are or girls are?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, softball is pitching. I mean, that's where it all starts. Definitely. The staff that we have here this year since this fall has been working pretty hard, and it's been really good to work with them. We've also made a huge adjustments on things with their pitching, with the staff a little bit. Just trying to get them to be a little more confident in things, be a little more consistent. I want them to go out and challenge. I want them to go after it, let our defense work, and things. So if we can eliminate the walks, and you can eliminate a bunch of errors and things, I think your pitching staff can calm down a little bit and go out and work. That's my goal with them. Just go out and do your best, compete, and don't give in. That's our goal anyway.
Yeah, limit the free bases always is a key in baseball or softball. You do that, you typically win the game if you win the free base game. So not only are they a lot of returners, like you said, you're also a lot of upperclassmen, but you still brought in a pretty big freshman class. How has having all that experience in upperclassmen helped with the development of the younger girls for the future years, as well as if they fill in for some games throughout the season this year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the first part was getting to know everyone, just because I didn't recruit any of them, whether it was from the upperclassmen on down through freshmen. So that was a big piece of it in the fall. It was really good to have that older team like you were talking about earlier, because our older girls helped out the young girls with a lot of little things, and that really helps when you're working on your techniques and form and stuff. You just gotta kind of plug away with it. There's gonna be some young girls that'll help in our varsity program and stuff like that. So it's a good mix of group of girls as far as class wise goes. I don't really get caught up in what grade level they are. It's college softball. It's one team, and if you've earned it, you play. So it's just a matter more athletic than it is more class wise as far as age goes. So yeah, it's been good. We got a good mix. We got a good group of girls that all get along good, and that's a lot. That means a lot.
So we've talked a lot about the returners. Some of the newcomers that I've heard around campus that are going to be some key contributors are freshman Madison Covey, transfers Tara Mackey, and transfer Andy Bellamy. What are you kind of hoping to see from them, that since they're new to the conference, just kind of like you, where they aren't going to have that so-called scar tissue or anything from other teams in the conference?
Well, 2 of them are transfers, so they played in college, so they got the little bit of experience. We got a couple other freshmen. We got Madison. Yeah, she'll have a little growing pains, no doubt, coming in for that first year, but she's already had that through the fall. So we've kind of taken care of a lot of that. We got a couple other girls that are younger too that'll probably get a little experience in the varsity level too. So that's kind of good that that we didn't mention. But yeah, those are all positives for us to have those new girls in. They're filling in the need that we needed on the team. So that's a really big plus for us that we can have those girls that, they all kind of have a good bat. Defensively, they're pretty solid.
So offensively last year, the team struggled a little bit, only hitting about 250 as a team. I know in softball, pitching dominates more than it does in baseball. Taryn and Allie were your two best hitters last year, average-wise and power-wise. Who else are you looking forward to stepping up and joining them in improved offensive output this year?
Well, if I knew that, that'd be awesome if I knew. No, I would say overall, all those returners, I think every one of them has the ability. I think we got a couple other girls that maybe didn't play a lot last year or get that opportunity and ability. With hitting, we're just trying to get them to have a plan as they go up to the plate and things like that. And we've tried to adjust a few things on their swings. Overall, from what was a weakness, we're trying to create a little better, build off our strengths and then improve our weaknesses in our swing. But a lot of hitting is, as most athletes know, is a lot of it's confidence, a lot of it's just being aggressive. That's probably the biggest change that I think I've tried to bring in is be aggressive. You're not going to get very many pitches that are strikes right down. And if you see that, you got to go after it and get your best swing in on that. So that's probably the biggest thing I've probably changed a lot is try to be more aggressive, but it's not that we have to swing on first pitch, nothing like that. But when you see a pitch that's in that zone, you got to be ready to go and go after it. And it takes a while. I'll be honest, hitting's really a touchy thing when it comes to that. Some get it right away, some don't. You just got to keep working on it and keep that plan in place.
For sure. So we've talked a lot offensively. Moving into the defensive side of things, who are you looking forward to be like leaders out there on the field itself?
Right. Well, I think first of all, you definitely look at your catcher, your pitchers. Definitely, it's great to have Taryn there. The good thing is we have two other catchers right behind her that could play just as well. So we got a little depth there. And that's probably the biggest thing we're looking for is depth. So with Taryn, Allie playing a lot last year, that'll help our infield kind of solidify it. I think quite a few of our infielders are back from last year. And so, it really depends. We got some vocal leaders and we got some leaders that lead by how they practice and how they demonstrate themselves on the field and their work ethic. So you really I don't really force the issue of you have to be one way or the other. It's kind of one of those things that when you're trying to build a program, you're trying to build a program that you have a bunch of leaders out there and not that they're relying on one or two people to do that leading. That's kind of how you change that culture, that they all try to step it up a little bit. But it's real easy answer to say Taryn and Allie because they've gotten that notice and they've done well in the past. But I really believe we're gonna have some other girls that will do that. If I knew that, that'd be awesome if I knew. But they're all gonna have that opportunity. So that's what we're kind of looking for.
Awesome. And one final question, Coach. Going into your first season, what are some of your expectations for the team and any specific goals that you hope to achieve in this first season?
Yeah, great question. I really, in all honesty, is what we do is exactly what I've been saying to you earlier. Take it one game at a time, go out and play hard. And, one of the philosophies we're trying to do is just win that inning, and get the mentality of our infielders, our defense, our hitters, our pitchers. It's one pitch at a time. And if there is a mistake, so what? Just move on because you can't do anything about it. So all those little things we're really trying to incorporate. But it's go out there and win that inning. No matter what scoreboard is, go out and win that inning and compete. And good things happen if you keep doing that. And you're gonna have negative times, you're gonna have positive times with it. But if you're willing to keep on that type of system and keep it, believing that if we keep doing those things, good things will happen. They usually do. So, of course, injuries determine a lot. Those things you can't control. You can't control weather, all those type of things. So really try to convince them that there is no excuse, next person up type thing, which is you hear all the time in athletics and things like that. So there's no poor us. There's no, you know, and I really want to get these girls to believe that if you go out and play hard, you're going to be able to compete with everyone that you're there. And if we're in the game going into seventh inning, whether we're ahead or behind or tied, that's all you ask for. Because now let the girls do it on their, play and see how it gets done. So it's going to be a fun year. Girls have really worked hard, and I'm really proud of them for that. I think it's going to be fun to see our girls just compete.
That's good to hear. I'm really excited to come watch whenever I can get away from the baseball field. Is there anything else you'd like to add today?
No, we definitely love to have fans come. I mean, our girls putting in that time and everything, and so we're really trying to, build this up here and everything. But just keep it positive with our girls. They keep that culture that they're enjoying the game, having fun out there, and playing as hard as they can. That's all what it's all about.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Coach, for joining us today. Everybody, that is the end of this week's episode of PodCats. I hope you have a good rest of your day.